Happy to have you aboard here for the Really Big Barbecue Show.
Boing.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine, how's Vaughn?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead and he's in the crackle. Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 2 feet for wiener.
But listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And just like that, we are in the second hour. It's the Barbecue Central Show, where we talk about only the most important items of the barbecue and grilling world. The Barbecue Central Show is coming to you live and direct from
Palm City, USA, Cleveland.
Still to come on the show this evening in about 11 minutes' time, Melissa Cookston. And we'll be closing the show with the first full-time barbecue editor ever on the face of the earth, Daniel Vaughn, over at Texas Monthly. We say good evening to those of you watching this show tonight through one of our video streaming platforms. You can go to Facebook.com/BBQ Central Show. You can also go to Twitter.com/BBQ Central Show. You can also watch on YouTube, which is YouTube.com/@BBQ Central Show, where we have a new YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody. And the question is this: is Magic Kingdom the worst Disney park to go to when you're an adult? And currently 64% of you are saying yes, that is the worst Disney park to go to when you're an adult. 36% of you are saying no, that is not the case. Coming up on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less, this coming Friday, episode 375, taking you back to March 3rd, 2015. Being featured is a guy and team that blazed the trails for many a barbecue competitor over the past, let's say, 20 plus years. Winner of many of the most important barbecue events ever to be held. TV competition star, innovator, and seller of barbecue rubs and sauces before a lot of folks actually got into it. His name is Mike Davis from Laudable Barbecue. In 2015, the Sam's Club Barbecue Series was still a thing. We talked about that during this segment. We also talked about KCBS judging and his turn-ins, many other topics as well. Mike has since gotten out of competition game. I don't know if it's like all out or if he just does a select few competitions, but definitely not anywhere near the amount of competitions when he was doing them. But Laudable is truly an important team in the history of competition barbecue, especially when it comes to the KCBS and the barbecue world in general. So if you're not familiar with Mike Davis, this is a great introduction to him. And you also get to see what a great guy that he is. So stay tuned for the Best Moment Show coming up this coming Friday, episode 375. But wait, there's more, because since I was off last week and I did not post or mention last week's Best Moment Show, which was episode 374, featuring our very own Texas embedded correspondent, Doug Scheiding. I posted that one yesterday morning, so if you go into the Barbecue Central Show's podcast feed and you happen to see back-to-back Best Moments shows, that is not a duplicate, that is not a mistake, that's exactly what I meant to have happen. Actually, what I meant to have happen was posting the best of show last Friday, but got away from me, and then got back into town, made right, and away you go. So you have a couple to catch up on if you didn't catch up on them the last 2 weeks, and then there is a new one, 375, this coming Friday. You can subscribe to the show by visiting thebbqcentralshow.com/subscribe. And as always, if you want to hear a past guest or segment that you feel has been lost in the archives, email John and let him know what you would like to hear. John is spelled Jon. John at thebbqcentralshow.com. And now we have a hot take alert. I go back to the topic from hour number 1 in the show open in regards to vacations. And I'm going to give you all a bit of advice that will make you seem a bit more courteous to the people around you, especially if you are attending vacation in an area that has a lot of sun. Because what does a lot of sun mean? Well, tanning, but if you are trying to take care of your skin, there's going to be a lot of sunscreen involved. So, what's very popular these days is sunscreen and a pressurized can. Certainly, you still have the normal stuff coming out of the tube or the pump or whatever, but widely you see the can under pressure. It comes in various SPF measurements, whatever. So I'm going to assume, because Americans inherently are lazy, you have the can of sunscreen. That's what you're getting, most of you. So be courteous. Before you apply, do a quick measure of where the wind is actually blowing from. And then find a spot in the area that is downwind, away from all humans, and apply your suntan lotion or sunscreen in that area. So as you're applying it, it's not blowing towards the general public or directly onto the general public. It's blowing away. Be courteous of that. Don't be one of those bags that just stands up at your chair and applies that pressure-driven sunscreen onto your body without any care or not even knowing where it's blowing off. Because I can tell you where it's blowing off. It's blowing off on everybody around you. There's nothing more douchebaggery than that. By the way, and I know it's convenient to have sunscreen in these pressure-driven bottles, but everybody should be using the tube or the pump. Takes 1 second to look at the amount of cast-off sunscreen that is just going everywhere in the air and not on your human body. You won't ever buy that again if you actually take a moment to look at it and see how much is just being wasted, blasted all around you. No matter how convenient it is, you are literally throwing dollars into the air if you are using that kind of sunscreen. Someday, I hope to get to a financially secure position where I can just apply pressure-driven sunscreen, not even care. I will always walk away. I will always be the courteous person. Just like if I'm having a cigar, I will always go downwind so as not to offend, because I am a professional human caring about the people around me, but most people don't. It's under pressure. They're just blowing it all over the place. You can tell, like, you quickly look around, everybody else. Nobody cares. Because in 5 minutes, they're going to be doing it to you, right? So there you go. Go downwind. Maybe you'll start a trend in the pool area where you're tanning. Courteous trend at that. All right, Melissa Cookston is in the green room. Get to her here in just one moment. Did you know that Big Papa Smokers is celebrating their 15th anniversary? Yes. With the ultimate barbecue essentials, from award-winning rubs, sauces, to premium grills, smokers. Big Papa Smokers has everything barbecue lover in your life needs. Discover pitmaster favorites like Sweet Money, Double Secret, Cash Cow, Competition Brisket, and Steak Rubs, all delicious. I should know. I've tried them all. I love them all. I just used Happy Ending rub on my pulled chicken tonight for dinner. It's delicious. Great on that pulled pork. Oh, come on. For a limited time, use promo code REMPE15, all one word, REMPE15 at checkout and get 15% off your purchase. Some exclusions apply. Visit BigPapaSmokers.com for all the details. Big Papa Smokers, where your food just got better. And remember, REMPE15 at checkout to get 15% off your next purchase. Let's catch up with Melissa Cookston next. Stick around.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, welcome back. My next guest is known as the winningest woman in barbecue. You've seen her on TV shows, owns restaurants, barbecue supply stores, authored books. Did I mention Barbecue Hall of Famer? Yes, of course. It's Melissa Cookston. There she is. Hey, Melissa.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fabulous. Great to have you back on the show. We have a YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests, which is this. Is Magic Kingdom the worst Disney park to go to when you are an adult?
Yes.
Yes, I agree. 64% of the YouTube voting public agreeing with you and me. I was there just as early as last week and can confirm not that great anymore. Number of different things to talk about here tonight. So let's start with perhaps one of the main ones. The second year of Smoke Slam, or I'll call it Smoke Slam 2025. So as someone who participated in the first go-around last year, you see how it's setting up here in 2025. Thoughts on first year, number one, and then what do you think we can expect from not only a competitor standpoint, but from a spectator standpoint?
You know, I think the best thing about Smoke Slam is, you know, it's on the mighty banks of the Mississippi. I mean, there's nothing like rolling smoke by that old river. But Smoke Slam is doing a great job of getting the public involved. So, you know, there's the live fire, of which the food there is phenomenal. And they do a lot of demos in that area. So, you know, backyard barbecuers can pick up a lot of tips and tricks and recipes. They have almost like a carnival type atmosphere with live music and all kinds of things for kids to do. So it's really embracing the public who loves barbecue, but, you know, may not know a team and can get into a tent in order to eat. So it's a lot of fun.
How do you feel the quality of barbecue team is there? If we're going to compare, I mean, obviously there's another event that's going on the same weekend that you won many times, of course. How do you feel the quality of team is there versus Memphis in May?
You know, I really didn't get the opportunity to visit with many teams because we have a WJBL contest there, which is teens cooking. So I am, you know, totally immersed in getting my teams loaded in, you know, and they're teenagers. So we need to make sure they have everything they can. And then with the live fire event. So, you know, from what I saw, the people that were there at the awards, you know, they're getting the winners. So, you know, who can complain about that? And the purse really is, you know, what people come for.
I'm surprised we don't see a Yazoo's Delta Q resurface to try and win all that money. I mean, that's a big purse. You've won some big purses, by the way.
I have, but I'll tell you that I had just retired the year before, and then Smoke Slam came out with that $250,000 purse, and I was thinking, oh, do I have one more in me? But I chose to help the kids cook.
Was the $50,000 that Kingsford Invitational the biggest take you ever had, or did you have bigger wins?
It's been so long, Greg, and I'm so old, and my memory's so bad. When I won Memphis in May, I'm gonna think that. Well, I got screwed out of $100,000 purse. So yeah, I'm gonna think that the Kingsford was probably the 50. Yeah, I'm thinking that was the biggest one-time purse.
I thought at that stage, because that, you know, competition barbecue was very popular back then on TV all over the place, and I thought it was just going to keep trending up. I thought we was going to see more like winner take all purses. I thought that was a great idea, but then a lot of people explained to me how that would disenchant a lot of teams. If you're not going to pay down, then people are not going to be as motivated to keep showing up.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I try to stay out of all the politics of competition barbecue. I just keep my head down and do my thing, you know.
So let's talk about the World Junior Barbecue League World Championships. And for the folks that are just tuning in for the first time tonight, maybe they're not aware of it or they've heard this is something that's going to be taking place in Smokeslam. This is kind of your baby here. So give us a little genesis of how this whole thing even got started.
I was asked to come to Texas to judge the state championship for Texas for high schoolers. And it was being filmed by Food Network at the time. And I didn't want to go. You know, I don't even really like kids. It's just not my bag. But once I got there, I realized that there is no place that I would rather be. These kids were so immersed in barbecue, and they were building their own rigs, and they really had a philosophy on barbecuing. And I realized the core values that they were learning in competition barbecue. And so on my way back to the airport, I called my publicist, my husband, anybody I could get on the phone. I said, look, guys, I want to do this. I want to make sure that this is everywhere, not just in the state of Texas. So that's what motivated me to start the foundation. And since we've gone internationally, so I'm excited about that.
How many events are going on at any given time?
Well, we have some smaller events. I'll be in the Caymans the first week of April for an event there, and they always send one or two teams to the championship in October. But you know, Guatemala has a competition. We're working on right now Barbados, Turks and Caicos, some in Europe. The two biggest competitions are Smoke Slam, which is a $25,000 purse, and then the World Championship in October, which is also a $25,000 purse.
When you're going international, are they turning in what we would consider to be Southern style barbecue, or are they staying, you know, more local with their flavors?
You know, the thing that intrigues me is that I've tried when in my travels, I've found that everybody has some history of cooking with fire. So we really want to stay true to their roots, you know, and how they cook. So our judges are trained specifically to look at, you know, with an open mind, these turn-ins of, you know, they don't cook barbecue the same in Europe as they do in Guatemala or the Caymans or here. So, but I will tell you, we have had some fierce competition, and the judges always say, you know, this is some of the best barbecue I've ever judged. And I think it's because it's not in that one specific flavor profile that I think competition barbecue has kind of narrowed down as to what's acceptable. And I don't think that's fair. So that's not how we judge.
Creativity is rewarded, in other words.
Exactly.
Anything else about World Junior Barbecue League that we should be knowing about or we should be following?
You know, if there's anybody out there that knows any teenager that wants to cook, we do barbecue boot camps, is what we call them, where we immerse them into competition barbecue. All the information's on the website, whether you want to host a contest or you know somebody that wants to enter a contest. So it's worldjrbbqleague.com.
All right, so check that out if you know somebody that might be interested in that, or maybe you're looking to put on a contest. That would be certainly great. It is what I would call cookbook season. Is there anything that is either coming out this year or anything you might be working on from a book standpoint?
Actually, mine is scheduled to be released in spring of 2026.
So are you done with it, or are you still working on it?
It's a labor of love, hate type relationship.
Labor of labor?
It's a labor of labor. Yeah. You know, I'm bringing in some new twists to cooking with fire. So, you know, it's hard to find. I'm in a small area. Yes, we're a suburb of Memphis, but it's hard to find some ingredients. So, you know, even though I'm writing the cookbook now, I can't get some things because it's not that season. So I test all my recipes as you we talked about before. So yeah, it's a labor of labor.
So this is going to be book number 3. Is there anything therapeutic or cathartic about writing a book?
No.
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 So when you wrote,
You know me.
when you wrote Smoking in the Boys Room,
Yeah.
was that a multiple book deal? Like, are you satisfying a contract, or has everything been kind of a one-off?
I mean, you have deals with your publisher where they have the right of first refusal. I'm sticking with the same publisher. I had a 3-book deal.
Yeah.
So I wrote the first 2 kind of close together. And you know how it is being in the restaurant business, especially after that pandemic we had. I don't know if you heard about that, but
Yes.
that's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Pretty rough on the restaurant industry. So, it's taken us several years to really get our feet on solid ground again.
What was the most important thing that you were able to take away from the pandemic, aside from all the pivoting and learning on the fly? Like, what did you take with you that was like, you know what, out of all the bad, this is something actually pretty good that we took away?
I think we were all just so thankful. We tried to keep all of our employees. I felt like it was my responsibility to my employees, to keep them working. So I don't have a drive-through at my restaurant, but I created one with pop-up tents. And, while they were on one side of the building, we'd take their order and we gave them drink refills. We were getting trash out of their cars. We were washing their windshields, to keep my servers making tips. So we learned that we're pretty strong. We're a resilient bunch.
How many years has Memphis Barbecue been open now?
This is the 14th year.
Are you surprised at 14 years? I mean, holding the pandemic aside, I'm sure everybody's surprised you get out of that. But, I mean, 14 years is a long time for a restaurant these days.
I've been in the restaurant business. This is 44 years for me.
Yeah.
That's 187 restaurant years old. It's why I look the way I do. I couldn't even pass for 69 these days. But, it's you have to be passionate to be in the restaurant industry, and I think with barbecue even more, because barbecue, you're cooking 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and in most restaurants, you close at some point.
Anything on the TV or entertainment front that we could be looking forward to, or anything you're allowed to talk about, or is there anything?
I can't really say much about that. I would love to spill the tea, but NDAs and such. They'd probably get my dogs if I spilled the tea.
Yeah, no legal issues here. Certainly understand that. The last thing I wanted to talk about, and so this would have been a couple of years ago, I think when it had first gotten going, was the Barbecue All-Stars, or your barbecue retail space. We were talking about how you were bringing stuff in and, why you do it. Well, here you are, 2025, still operating that side of the business. How do you feel that portion of business or that revenue stream for the Cookston Empire is going?
I opened that store primarily so you could feel it, touch it, smell it, realize it, instead of buying things online. I mean, how many times do you buy things online, you get it, and you're like, oh, well, this looked bigger on the computer screen. This is not what I thought it would be. But our online sales are doing so much better than the people coming in, touching it and feeling it and smelling it. We do fine. But, I'd love for people, where can you go sample a ton of rubs and sauces and, see what stuff's gonna taste like? Not a lot. I mean, you can't do that through the computer. I'm assuming that, one day we'll be able to do that, but not today. So, the retail space is this is my first foray into retail. So it's all been a big learning curve, but it's my fun job.
What are the most popular things selling in the store? Is it just the little stuff like rub sauce, or are they bigger like grill items?
accessories are the hot ticket, and we have got so many gadgets and gizmos that, I mean, who knew they needed bare butts, right? Where you take the little smoky sausages and wrap some croissant rolls around it and make bare butts. I didn't know I needed one of those, but apparently I did. So, I mean, there's just, and we've got cute snarky socks. I mean, you know me. So I've got the snarky stuff going, kitchen towels, that, I didn't say you were old, but if you were milk, I'd smell you first kind of stuff. It's just fun. It's a lot of fun.
If somebody wants to get in or pitch to a Melissa Cookston to get their stuff in, like, how easy is that?
It's not easy.
Like, can I find a way? Is there an email, or do I got to cold call you on the phone?
Don't you give my number out?
Not me.
Info at thebarbecueallstars.com is probably the best way to get in touch with me. I have so many rubs and sauces dropped off.
Yeah.
And there's just no way I can carry everybody's. And I feel so bad about that because I was that girl, at one point too. So I feel so bad. But, the reality is it doesn't matter if I like it. What matters is, are people going to buy it?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's what we have to take into consideration, or we can't stay open if I just carry 7 million sauces and rubs and can't sell any of them.
How can you figure out what's going to sell? Or do you just try stuff and the stuff that moves gets a reorder and the stuff that doesn't gets moved off the shelf?
Yeah, that's kind of been the go-to. There are the big ones that sell really well in this market. And they're always going to sell well in this market. So we make sure we carry those. And the ones that don't move, we discount them and move them out and try something new.
Yeah. This is Melissa Cookston, and you can find her on social media. You can buy her books. You can see her on TV shows of the past. And every once in a while, you see her right here on this show. By the way, there was a definitive point in time where Melissa would come on the show on a Tuesday and then turn around and win the Memphis in May World Championship Barbecue Cook-Offs, by the way.
No, I only came on the show to get good luck from Greg.
Yeah.
And it just so happened.
Right. So, I mean, whatever that was quite a time. Look, Melissa, I can't tell you, since like 2010, we've been doing these conversations on and off. And you've always been very good to the show, and I appreciate the fact that you come on. You lend a lot of legitimacy to the show when you come on. And whenever you need anything from me, you can just reach out, and appreciate you coming on again tonight.
That is acknowledgement that I can just cold call you.
Absolutely, please. Have a great night.
Thank you.
You got it.
You too.
Melissa Cookston right there. Oh, man, when she was out there competing, winning a lot, of course. Teams of the years and world championships and hog categories, to the point where she was raising her own hogs and cooking them. I don't even know if anybody's doing. Maybe Tim Shear is doing that. Certainly nobody else. All right, that was Melissa Cookston. We have Daniel Vaughn ready to go. All right, yeah, we'll do it. Hey, before we get to Daniel, Green Mountain Grills has brought the smoke to the competition scene and the backyards all over the world. Their Venturi-style firebox delivers the cleanest 150-degree smoke in the pellet game. No competition. Their redesigned 2025 Prime 2.0 grills blend the proven technology of the past with the technology of the future. Green Mountain Grill is the original innovator in all things Wi-Fi, continuing to give the user granular options to control your grill in any environment from anywhere. Green Mountain Grill also leads the pack in accessory creation from their pizza attachment that delivers pizza in 2 minutes to the rotisseries to an add-on side burner. How about that? All electric. Check out the new 2.0 GMG at greenmountaingrills.com. That's greenmountaingrills.com. We're back with Daniel Vaughn right after this. Stick around. Be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best Triple X show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Craig Rimpey.
And we thank Melissa Cookston for joining us the last segment. This portion of the show brought to you by McAuliffe Cigars. The color series is winning on my palette. Black, blue, red. There's 2 new colors at least being introduced here in 2025, so stay tuned for that. McAuliffe Cigars, MICALLEF, McAuliffeCigars.com, and use the locator to find a retailer nearest you. Helping me close the show tonight and doing his first segment of 2025 and what will be quarterly appearances is the barbecue editor for Texas Monthly's magazine, our pal Daniel Vaughn. DV, what's up?
Oh, good to be with you.
Are you in a different spot? You look in a different
I am in a different spot.
You
yes,
on location?
Not on location. I created a little nook here for my home office, and have a new background, and all that good stuff. And a Browns helmet, or Browns helmet there. Yeah,
oh, yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
We need to replace that with like a Donovan Mitchell bobblehead or something. Get a winner on that shelf.
It's signed by Bernie Kosar, so it's staying.
The last good quarterback we have ever had, Bernie Kosar. For those that have no idea what we're talking about, we have a YouTube poll question of the week, Daniel, that I'll ask you before we get into some of the other stuff. Is Magic Kingdom the worst Disney park to go to when you're an adult?
Yeah. Let's say yes.
Yes, 100%. I can say through recent experience, as recently as last week, that between Epcot and I know Universal isn't a Disney-themed park, and I don't do any of that animal bullshit. We didn't go to Hollywood Studios, but we did go to Magic Kingdom as a bunch of adults, and we're ready to blow our heads off about 4 hours into it, and then felt mega obligated to stay for at least another 5 hours because it's not a cheap date to get in there. So
that's right. You already paid the big money to get in, so right. you got to take advantage.
Don't fall. You ever had the turkey legs there?
I think turkey legs in general are just super disappointing. I mean, kind of like wherever you get them. They have to be so incredibly tender. I mean, almost everybody gets them from the same place, right? They get them from, Farm Pack in Yoakum, Texas. I mean, they get them from the same place, and they do so little to them, but just heat them up because they're already cured and smoked, fully cooked by the time they get them. You really need to smoke it till it gets super tender, because that's really the only way to pick that thing off the bone and all the tendons and everything else. And you get those first few like really pleasurable bites of a turkey leg, and then the rest of it you're just sitting there like, what do I do with this thing?
I'm not a turkey leg guy. I don't remember the last time I ate one. Always pass and never look back with not even a second of regret. Let me circle back to the Michelin star conversation that we had in December, closing out your quarterly appearance. I've since learned that Texas, the state, or maybe their tourist department or whatever you want to call it, paid millions of dollars to the guide. Do you think that if Texas would not have boned out whatever sum of money that they did in the tune of millions, that those Michelin stars would have been awarded to those pitmasters and restaurants?
No, I mean that's the model. Like for Michelin,
I didn't know that. I thought all of a sudden they were just like James Beard, including barbecue. All of a sudden,
no, Michelin's not like, you know what? We've decided we're going to cover Denver, now L.A., and now Texas. No, it's these the tourism boards pay them, and they pay them because they feel like that the money's worth it to get the eyes. Certainly the media eyes, the attention on their state's cuisine, and hopefully get a bunch of visitors who come in, because you do have a lot of people who travel all over the world eating at Michelin-starred restaurants. And so hopefully that boosts the tourism bucks. But the state paid half of the money for the 3-year contract, and then the 5 cities that were covered paid the other half. And so that's why all the Michelin stars and all the recognition, the Bib Gourmands and all that, came from just Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, because those are the only cities that actually help pony up the money to bring Michelin.
I don't know how to say this without sounding like a dick. And we are courageous on the show, as you once coined the phrase. Knowing that, no disrespect, and I never try to pre-qualify anything because obviously I'm going to sound disrespectful. Does it cheapen the star then at some point?
No. I mean, I think whenever people... I guess when people, no disrespect, when people like you figure this out, it seems like this big surprise. But I think, and maybe it's because I'm a media member, but I think it's, as Michelin has come into different areas of the country, I thought it was pretty well known that like you've got to pay for them to come, and there won't just be like an Ohio Michelin guide unless the state of Ohio or cities in Ohio decide that we're going to pay Michelin the money to come in, and because Michelin then is charged with. Actually, you know what? I don't even know if Michelin pays for any of the food that their tasters go eat, that those secret diners go eat. I have no idea. But yeah, Michelin is only going to put that guidebook together for your particular area if you pay them. But I think it might be a good investment for Ohio. You get Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati. I mean, you got big cities in there that might actually pony up some money. When
you say people like me, do you mean generally uneducated or dopey? Like, what do you mean?
No,
learned.
No, the people who say, "Oh my God, can you believe that they had to pay?" Yeah, I don't know.
It was a big revelation to a sizable percentage of my audience. I had no idea. Like, how would we know? Why would we know that? You just hear Michelin star and you think Gordon Ramsay or John Teaser.
Yeah, I don't think it cheapens it just because of the fact that like everybody's, whether they're paid to come to Texas or not, the individual tasters aren't being like paid to give out a Michelin star, right? Like they're still judged on the same level, right? On the same playing field as all the rest. So whether or not they'd be here without the Tourism Board of Texas paying. These restaurants who received a Michelin star are still receiving a Michelin star that compares to a Michelin star anywhere else in the world.
If you had to choose, Daniel Vaughn, had to choose between getting a Michelin star or a James Beard Award, which one would you choose and why?
If I was a restaurant owner, quite simply, I would choose to be in the Texas Monthly list. And I say that
I didn't even ask that question.
Oh, what was
Michelin
Did
star
you say
or James Beard Award?
Yeah. And I'm telling you that I think the better one to be on is the Texas Monthly list because I write for Texas Monthly, but also because, and here's why: because the James Beard Award is one chef is going to get that recognition from the James Beard Award. One chef in the state every year, and so there's not a whole lot of love to go around. For Michelin, it comes out every year. So as soon as you receive your Michelin star as a chef and a restaurant owner, you are now immediately defending it. Those tasters could be there next week to see if you're going to get your Michelin star back the following year. And so there's a lot of pressure that's put on. And if you get in the top 10 of the Texas Monthly list, like you get to breathe, you get to enjoy it for 4 years. We're not going to come check on you for another at least 3.5 years. So you get to just enjoy that and revel in it.
I think I dislike the fact that you are so Texas. Like, not everybody lives in Texas. Like, there's a whole bunch of other states that have Michelin stars and James Beard Award. So the question is, which one do you want? And then you discount both options to then immediately pile on to Texas Month. I don't understand. So
yeah.
Are we in the top 50 list process here in 2025? Then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Full swing.
Well, full swing as far as the writing goes. The search itself has concluded. So we spent about 6 months. That really ended after the first weekend in March. That that concluded. And then it was time to start writing all the different write-ups, the different articles that are going to go in that issue, which will be in our June issue. And so that the first part of the pressure is off, and then the next part is we're in the midst of it right now.
Oof.
So I've still got quite a bit of writing left to do.
Would you say you've gotten more than 50 or less than 50? Let's grease the wheels. Kind of a phone call, email, text message.
I've gotten 0. I mean, I think at this point, I think at this point, most of the barbecue joint owners in Texas understand how it works. And, we've got, they all know when it's happening. I mean, we announced the fact that we have gotten together as a Texas Monthly staff and we're commencing the search. That's really started around September 1st of last year.
Yeah.
And like I said, ended that first weekend in March here. And so, they all know when it's happening. I think they all understand that, trying to sort of state their case or whatever is probably doing that in any other way than serving incredible barbecue is probably more of a detriment than it is a help. So yeah, no, I haven't, I certainly get whether it's a joke or a nervous comment or whatever at a restaurant, I certainly get the question. I mean, when I was in line at Goldie's Barbecue, PJ, one of the guys who works the line there, just said, so what are the chances that we go number 1 back to back? And I was like, I don't know. Just look at all the other places that have done it.
Yes, all of them. Wow, the list is long and distinguished.
There's none.
If they're right, so like if an envelope showed stuffed like 50 G's and it was like so and so barbecue restaurant for top 10, would you name them immediately? Would you call them out, or would you just send it back and be like, "Hey, I can't do that"?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Yeah. $50,000. I could really use $50,000.
I feel like you would post it and be like, "Hey, this guy tried to screw me."
And if I don't name them number 1, what are they going to do? Tell everybody that they sent me $50,000 to do it?
Yeah, I think they would.
Then they'd really look like idiots, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but I mean, people seem to have no temperature for being an idiot anymore. I mean, they will do anything.
This is true. Yes. Yeah, for sure. And I guess the Supreme Court did say that corruption is legal. Yeah. So
they will spin it to be like, "Hey, I paid that guy off, and he still didn't put me number 1. That guy's a crook. Arrest that guy." All right, so the list is coming out in June. Like, is there a specific drop date, as the kids say?
There is. It'll be in our June issue, but it'll come out a little earlier. So it'll be released the day after Memorial Day. So that's May 27th.
Oh. So will you have been on? That's right around, let me look at my quick calendar. April, May, June. And then I got oh, no. Oh, for Christ.
I mean, we could schedule one that night if you want.
Hold on. Oh, for Christ's sake. Here we go.
I mean, scheduling, actually
when
getting
is
a schedule for May 27th.
May 27th?
Yes.
Oh, all right. So
the day after Memorial Day.
You're next on June 17th. So we'll have plenty of time to be able to go over the list and listen to all the "he got it wrong again" talk and great stories like that.
I got to write that down.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't be out of town.
Well, yeah. I mean, for this particular call, this one that happens here in March, for the past few years, I've been out on spring break in Europe.
Yep.
And so this time around, I landed yesterday coming back from Copenhagen. So,
is there
glad
Texas
to be back in town to be able to talk to you.
Is there Texas style barbecue in Copenhagen? Oh, yeah?
And Copenhagen.
Copenhagen?
Yes. The Danes love smoked meat. That's for sure.
Like rated out of 10.
Oh,
Like
well,
10 being 10 being whatever the current number one is, 10 being Goldies.
Oh, 10 being Goldies. Well, I mean, should I talk about the place itself first? Like, give you a name?
Please. Go ahead.
All right. War Pigs Barbecue is where I went. And War Pigs, I ate there, I think, 8 years ago. And I've been told by a bunch of people, certainly anybody who knew War Pigs and learned that I had landed in Copenhagen were like, oh, he's going to War Pigs, isn't he? He's got to be going to War Pigs. It's good. You're going to love it. I was like, well, it wasn't so good 8 years ago. And they're like, it's gotten so much better. Promise you. And boy, has it not. Yeah. Yeah. It has not gotten better. That's
8
for sure.
years of continued mediocrity. Below mediocrity? I think you just muted yourself. You just muted yourself. Oh, no. No. Mute button? Uh-oh. Gonna have to reconnect. Sounds like we're gonna have to reconnect. Can you hear me? Yeah? Is there a mute button on there? You hit a mute button? No. Just try and reconnect. See if that doesn't help us here. In the meantime, talking with Daniel Vaughn from Texas Monthly. Hopefully he reconnects in time to talk about fajitas. Or what fajita trailer all the most popular barbecue grilling masters in Texas are going to. Did a story on that. But then we'll learn about isn't a War Pig an Ozzy Osbourne song? You guys in the chat that are older than me, like, you know Ozzy Osbourne. I think War Pig is Ozzy Osbourne from Copenhagen? Is there a meeting of the proverbial names there? War Pig the song and War Pig.
How about now?
Yeah, all right, we're back.
All right, yeah.
War Pig is a Ozzy Osbourne song, right?
Yeah. Well, yes, indeed. Yeah. This place was packed. I mean, it was hopping. I accidentally ordered 4 pitchers of beer on their online ordering system. I thought for sure it was saying that, do you want 4 glasses with that? And yeah,
4 pitchers.
4 pitchers of a hazy IPA came out for a table of 8. That was quite surprising. We made a couple of tables very, very happy.
Yeah. You didn't drink them between, like, 1 pitcher between 2 people? Oh wait, were some of those your kids?
There were kids. There were some of my kids. There were some Swedish children as well. And we had about 30 minutes before our actual dinner reservation. That was just down the road. So the barbecue was a snack. It was just let's just say there's places where you go in and you see really careful barbecue plating, right? And it's beautiful, and that shows lots of attention to detail. And this was everything but that. It was how quickly can we do this? My piece of overcooked brisket was literally slapped onto the tray. The pork rib, the pork rib ends were just the pulled pork, the bark was so dry that I could pull it apart and essentially chew on it like jerky.
Wow.
It was just it was embarrassing.
Do they know you?
I mean, certainly the guy who was serving didn't have any idea who I was, and I didn't announce myself or anything. I just went in and ordered a tray of barbecue. That's the best barbecue in Copenhagen, is what they say. So,
well, don't go anywhere else if that's the best. Run away from everywhere else if that's the best. I mean, you couldn't have a less glowing review.
Well, so the next day, I was with the folks from Holy Smoke Barbecue in Sweden, and we were looking around their facility to see the changes they'd made at their little barbecue shack that's on the southwest side of Sweden. Unfortunately, it's not open. It wasn't open yet for the season. They wait for that warm weather. It's going to open in about a month, and then be open 7 days a week throughout the summer. But it is not open in those cold Swedish winters.
Huh.
But they have some mill scale smokers there, straight from Austin, Texas.
Right, so smokers are legitimate. That's got to cost a pretty penny to hike them over there. Holy moly!
Yeah, I can imagine.
By boat?
They've got, yeah, big shipping containers, and then they have to figure out like what else can we put in the shipping container to help make it worth our while for the shipping. Yeah.
Wood, probably wood and charcoal. Pack it full. Why not?
Yeah, frozen beef.
Is Spain enamored with Texas-style barbecue?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really interesting to see. You travel around Europe, South America, Australia. I mean, it's just crazy to see how many Texas-style places show up. And then when you start talking to them about, like, why do you do barbecue? Well, I watch these Aaron Franklin videos. I got this Aaron Franklin barbecue book, and just like the Texas influence is everywhere.
Is he the most important Texas barbecue guy in the history of ever?
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly if you look at Franklin Barbecue's opening as this turning point of popularity of Texas barbecue and just sort of consciousness of what Texas barbecue is and how it differs from other Southern barbecue, and the trajectory then of Texas barbecue's influence since then. I mean, he's the most important figure certainly that has ever come to Texas barbecue. Yeah, it's pretty amazing what has happened with Franklin Barbecue and since Franklin Barbecue opened in just 2009.
Who's Megan Francis Lloyd?
Who is Megan Francis Lloyd? Oh, who wrote the article about Spanish barbecue?
And a number of other articles, as I've come to find out.
Yes. Yeah. So she lives in Spain, and she's been, and, she came across certainly some of these barbecue restaurants, one of which I had written about long ago in the past, and she decided to do a refresher. And, we get pitches from really, like I said, all over the world. We get different pitches to write barbecue articles about Texas's influence in Africa, Asia, Europe, South America, wherever it might be.
What's the deal with the fajita trailer that all the big name pitmasters and restaurant owners are going to?
Fajitas to go. You can't eat them here. Except you can. There's a couple of picnic tables, but just about, everyone, as I ate at the picnic table, every other customer was bringing it to go. But it's this, I don't know, it's this cool window into, the valley and the barbecue in the valley of grilling over direct heat wood charcoal, doing half chickens that way, doing fajita beef, from the skirt steak, doing the costillas or tablitas, cross-cut beef short ribs, which is one of those things that you find really all over South Texas, and one of the items that I think should be cooked a lot more on the grill. And it's just if you can find them in the store, wherever you might be in the country, but they cook up so well. They take on a marinade so well. They take on rub flavor so well, and they've got a little chew to them because they are beef ribs and you're cooking them hot and fast. But they're it's the knife has already done so much work for you because they're cut pretty thin. So it's got this like pleasant chew to it, great beefy flavor, and takes on marinade really well. Like I said.
Anything coming up over the next 30 to 60 you want to talk about before I let you go tonight?
Oh man,
coming to Cleveland?
I'm not coming to Cleveland. Headed up to Chicago, doing some college visits, and probably definitely eating some barbecue at the same time.
What colleges in Chicago are we looking at? Loyola?
University of Chicago and Northwestern for my daughter. So she is a sophomore in high school right now.
Oh, that's early. Wow.
She's looking at great colleges, great universities for computer science programs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll be headed up there, and and eating well for sure. Yeah, I've got I've still got a bunch of travel. I held off on a number of places that opened this year because I really wanted to have a cutoff date for the top 50 of this year. And really, if you opened in 2025, I was like, you know what, we're going to let you vie for that 25 best new barbecue joint list that'll come out in 2027.
Yeah.
And so, I've already got a lot of those places marked on my map. And so I've got some travel to the southeast side of Houston, to Austin, and really all that travel is planned around eating every barbecue joint in a Texas airport that exists.
Really?
And rating, yes. And rating their breakfast items and their lunch/dinner items to try and find the best airport barbecue.
Doesn't that require you to get security access?
Well, right. So I'm planning these trips to
Houston,
Houston, Austin, from DFW and Love Fields so that I can so I can eat at all of them.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm anxious to hear how that goes. When do we get results on that?
Well, I've got to wait for Killen's Barbecue. Theirs will be the last one because Ronnie Killen is opening a Killen's Barbecue in Houston Hobby Airport in mid-June. And so I will have all the others finished up, and then I'll be waiting on a trip to get down to Houston Hobby in a few months.
All right. So that could
see how Ronnie Killen translates his barbecue into translates his restaurant barbecue into airport barbecue.
Yeah. All right. Well,
tough thing to do.
That could be a Q3 recap as well. So looking forward to that. Daniel Vaughn is right here. TMBBQ.com is his website. Daniel, always appreciate the time, and we will see you again in June.
Yeah. Good talking with you.
You too. Daniel Vaughn right there. He doesn't like to admit it, but originally a Buckeye. Yeah, he is. No doubt. All right. Let me talk to you quickly about David McDowell and the barbecue diet program. Oh, yes. Because guess who won the shred down contest in Orlando last week? That was me.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, it was me. Oh, yeah, Maggie. You tired of diets that make you choose between good food and what the hell?
Barbecue.
I mean, she just ruined everything. I can't even get out of this now. All right. Hold on. We'll go here. Yes. And then I'm going to go here. Boom. All right, that might work. Are you tired of diets that make you choose between good food and real results? Probably. You don't have to anymore. David McDowell's cracked the code. His personalized fat loss coaching for barbecue lovers. Let you eat the food you love, like ribs, brisket, and wings. Still lose weight. Get lean and feel amazing. This isn't some fad. It's a proven system that includes barbecue-friendly meal plans, tailored health strategies, and weekly check-ins, so you're never guessing, never alone, never forced to give up what you love. And if you want to be a part of something bigger, to surround yourself with like-minded barbecue lovers who are dropping weight, getting stronger, staying motivated, then the online barbecue diet group is where you need to be. Now, here's the deal. You can keep struggling on your own, or you can plug into a system that works. Join now, get exclusive access to expert coaching, real-world strategies, and a support crew that won't let you fail. And I'm week 6 in, I think. I'm telling you, he knows what he's doing with the food recommendations. Now, remember, I'm a guy that requires zero variety in his life when it comes to food. I can eat the same thing every day. Good news, bad news. Good news is I eat the same thing every day. Bad news, eat the same thing every day. Sam the cooking guy hates it. I love it. I don't have to even ask myself, what's for dinner? I know. And I make it good, and I eat the right amount, weighing, of course. Now I'm lean meat. Looking good. Go to skool.com/BBQ. That's skool.com/BBQ right now. And take the first step because you can have a barbecue. Because you can have barbecue and your dream body too. But you have to take action. Do that. The barbecue diet program with our pal David McNow. And if you have any questions you want to ask me about it, send them my way, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. I'm never going to show you pictures on this show. Don't even ask me. I'm not going to do that. All right, let's wrap the show. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Let's get back to a guy who has more experience giving you his opinion than he actually has cooking. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
And we thank Daniel Vaughn for joining us last segment. TMBBQ.com, his website. At BBQ Snob on the Twitter, if you'd like to follow him. Him and Meat had a great follow. Great follow. And thank goodness he made it back from Copenhagen yesterday. Depending on where you were in the country, the weather was shaky at best. So glad he made it back for the interview. Great interview as always. All right, let's go ahead and get on out all the way back in the first hour. Who did we talk to? I'll tell you who we talked to. We talked to Meathead from AmazingRibs.com, and then it was Wes Wright from CookoutNews.com. And then in the second hour, an appearance from the one and only Melissa Cookston. Closing it out, Daniel Vaughn, Texas Monthly. Next week is the 4th Tuesday of the month. Mike Lang will lead the show in the first hour. And then a political figure near and dear to my heart. The first political figure we've ever had on the show will be in studio, sitting in for the show. No names, please. And then, of course, in the second hour next week, the embedded correspondent, we're said political guest, will sit in and give his opinions on 100% assurity questions. Oh my God, it's going to be great. If you thought this show was great this week, next week's going to blow your head off. So how do I always leave you? September 11th, 2001. I will never forget until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. This is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe, saying, Shabbat!
Marley Rempe, and you're listening to Barbecue Central.